welcome the first guest ever to Holla at your boy,
Woo.
the one and only. Actually, give me introduce yourself, dog, because I don't want to mess up your name with all 5 names you got.
Right. My name is Dwaylan Akeem Applewhite. I go by Dwaylan or Dway. I'm the homie.
I was thinking about this even before we get into what's going on with the world, but man, we've been homies for a minute. Like I was like I kept thinking, like, it just kept going further and further back. I'm trying to think,
like even before we lived together, like even like on some like choir camp or music building, school of music.
Because what started coming to mind was that like 7 years ago I got that job at Pluckers.
Oh, we're old. 7 years ago.
7 years ago I got that job at Pluckers, and then I started realizing we have put each other on to jobs. Plural. Almost our entire life.
Plural.
Like, it was...
We did Herbert's.
We did Herbert's together.
Choir camp.
I
probably applied at Pluckers.
You applied at Pluckers, and I don't think you got the gig, but I was there for a month.
Yeah.
Louis?
No, I did, because I was driving. I was driving all the way up to Austin from San Marcos.
You got the other Pluckers.
I got the other Pluckers.
That's right. So I'll still count it.
Louis.
We got Louis. We got those clubs in Austin.
Yeah.
We got, God dang, dude. We've been running
gigs
for a long time.
Yeah.
Gigs. Dude, how long has it been? It's been
7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. Did I meet you my freshman year?
Probably at some kind of function, some kind of party,
some function,
kind of
right? Way back in the day.
Yeah.
Actually, no, probably not my freshman year, because my freshman year I didn't really mess with the music building too much.
Okay.
So I think my sophomore year is when I kind of started getting put onto the music building and
Okay,
what's going on with that life. Find Me Alpha and all those.
Yeah.
Whew. Everybody professional now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I'm very mindful of the things I say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call nobody out, but man,
college is an experience.
10 years ago was
as it should be.
Was
it should
wild.
Be fun. You should be able to enjoy yourself and have those experiences that you tell the kiddies when they're old enough to understand. When we're all boring and wearing business suits.
Dude, I still get caught up every now and then. I don't think you get it as much, Evan. Oh, and as always, boy Evan on the mixer.
What up, Evan?
He's forever the producer,
Yep.
or until one of us gets a different job, and it's gonna be a sad day.
Oh,
But at the middle school level, were they asking like questions about your life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I
That's all they have questions.
and just my natural response, like if somebody asks me about my life, like I'm gonna tell you the truth, but then
I was like,
halfway through the sentence, I'm like,
Yeah. We have
no.
to filter. We're professionals
yeah,
now.
You got to edit yourself.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest, amongst other things, my biggest issue is just like editing before.
Yeah. You have to put that professional filter over, how we say things and how we move in the world now, which is funny to me because how we got down.
Yeah.
That just makes me think of our predecessors and the people that we look up to. I'm like,
bro,
I know good and well.
Certain.
I know good and well.
Certain that some of those dudes were wilding back in the day.
Absolutely.
And I would love to see it. I would have loved to see any of my like private lesson instructors.
Yeah.
My high school band director, bro. Shout out to him again. I ain't gonna call out anybody's name, but I'm sure homie was wilding back in the day.
There's definitely some crazy older people out there they had a life back then.
Yeah, man. And that's what it is. They had a life.
They had a life.
Like, I was thinking about that a lot lately with just like, because I teach 12th grade through 6th grade.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So like I kind of like I see the development of the individual, and I'm just like, man. And then you also used to be in 1st grade, and then you were a baby. That's wild.
Yeah, you were part of, young adults and future leaders of America, their developmental phase.
Yeah.
It's like, we're molding this brilliant generation of people known as, is it Gen Z?
Yeah.
The Gen Z.
Yeah.
For the lack of sounding like an old person, Gen Z, they're gonna really inherit a lot of not so wonderful, but some also wonderful things, and they're really gonna be the catalyst for change in this nation.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, definitely inheriting a lot of problems, but a lot of those memes are coming up I don't even know where it's from, but I know it's from a movie where the old dude's coming out.
He's like,
and
yeah,
he's eating a bowl of
he's eating
cereal,
it.
and he's like,
We're
"What
gonna
you
eat
got
the
going on
rich.
today?"
Stick it to the man.
We're gonna go stick it to the man.
That's us
We're gonna
now,
fix
man.
civil liberties. Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Good luck. And that's what it feels like, man. Because these kids are out here putting in work. I know. I mean, I say kids. I mean, we're not far off from it, but
No.
I mean, out here in Temple, we had a protest.
Yeah.
Couple weeks ago, right? I think it was.
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, the second week, and then I know you were part. You actually got to be a part of that
Yeah.
massive one in Austin.
Yeah, Austin has had a few. The one I went to was spearheaded by the Austin Justice Coalition, which is a African American led coalition for peace and prosperity amongst people of color, specifically African Americans,
Okay.
and really trying to solve issues like police brutality and the gentrification of East Austin. So that's been Austin is a brilliant city if you can afford to live there. If we are going to be completely transparent,
I agree with that.
there's a lot of rapid gentrification happening in East Austin, which is due to redlining the historically black part of Austin.
Yeah, man. So for one, I never
Yes.
really messed with Austin back in the day. Like I
Yeah.
would go up there for gigs and for work, but as far as like
Yeah,
kicking it there, that wasn't me. So, but you've been living there for
yeah. I mean that's
4 years, no?
three
years now.
Yeah.
So yeah, dog. Tell me what's going on with your city,
It's-
or do you claim?
no, at this point, I'll claim Austin. I mean, because
Okay.
like, we were in college, I said come up the road, come
Yeah.
up I-35 corridor, and do all my dirt. Austin, it's lovely, it's beautiful, but classism runs rampant in the city. The people that tend to really enjoy Austin are the people that are financially secure.
That makes sense.
I don't see Austin as a city for young professionals to thrive outside of specific industries. Like I would not consider it an industry for young teachers or young artists. I would consider it a city for people that are young in tech, people
Yeah,
that are
okay.
young in public health or politics.
Why would you say not like young teachers?
Just because the median income to thrive in Austin is so high, and you juxtapose that with the teacher's salary.
Okay,
like,
I see what you're saying.
there's just no way for you to be a full-time teacher without a side hustle and live in Austin, Texas, without living outside of the extremities.
That's fair. I'm trying to think.
Because AISD, you could work there, but you might be living
Yeah, all
like,
my boys that
a town away from
they
your
live
school.
in Kyle. A lot
Kyle,
of them live in
Maynard,
Kyle. Yeah,
Buda,
yeah, yeah.
like you're.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
I like the closer you get to the central area of the greater Austin area, the more expensive it is, which is why
Yeah.
you see ethnic minorities and you see people in lower working classes on the extremities, on the far east or the far south or the far north. Not the west, because that's the 1%. That's Sandra
Oh,
Bullock.
Bro,
that's
I
Jared
did some
Padalecki.
gigs at those
Yeah,
at those places. I did some
yeah.
house parties out there. It's wild.
And the people are nice, but it's very much a sobering experience when you kick it with your friends, and then they go to their very cushiony 9 to 5, and
Yeah.
then you're working 2.5 jobs just to pay your rent.
Yeah.
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 And then I will say, me living in East Austin, it's very nice because I see people that look like me. Once again, due to the history of redlining and segregation in Austin, I-35 was the dividing line between West privileged Austin and people of color Austin, which was on the east. But
Was it
now,
really?
oh,
Okay.
absolutely. So it was the white people and the white neighborhoods and the white businesses were west of I-35, and to the east you had historically black Austin. But now you have all of these businesses coming in, and it's so lucrative to live in Austin and have a startup in Austin. They're finding these homes and they're flipping them on the east side.
Yeah.
So that's driving up, the property value. Then by proxy, it's driving up the property taxes. So, generations of families that lived in East Austin could no longer afford to live there, and they're being pushed out.
Damn.
So they're getting the option, hey, go on your own, or I will offer you a lump sum and we'll buy your home and we'll flip it.
Yeah.
So it's a progressive city, yes, but is it a city without, its flaws? Absolutely not. I will say this, all that glitters is not gold. People like to think of Austin as this golden city, we're the LA of Texas. Ooh.
Nah, maybe not. And
There's
even
some-
if we were,
Yeah.
as of
I mean,
recent,
LA
I wouldn't
has
say
some
that's a good
problems
thing.
too, boo.
Yeah.
Every city's see a lot of this problem.
Yeah.
So Austin is nice. It is not my end all be all, but I enjoy it for the time being.
Yeah. Okay, man. I dig that.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird because back in the day, like, I don't know. I didn't even think, like, too much culturally, West Side, East Side, anything like that. Like, West Side was just the more upper scale, and then East Side was, like, the hipster side to me. And again, you know.
Because the hipsters could afford it.
Okay. That makes, yeah. Now that I'm saying that out loud,
if you're
that
a
makes
poor
sense.
artist,
Yeah.
chances are you're living in East Austin.
That makes sense. But I still have, I have these strange views on hipsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's well. It's also because just a lot of the ones that I came into contact with, and you know, I don't even say hipsters anymore because I don't want to offend anybody, as far as like what they claim who they are as people. But just a lot of the people, like they kind of force themselves to be.
Bingo. Because that's absolutely
That side of thing. You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Like there's a hipster aesthetic.
Yeah.
Pardon me. But it's like it's not, you know, this hipster lifestyle of, oh, we're gonna live in a commune or we're gonna do this. I'm like, actually, your parents pay your rent. You drive a Tesla,
or a Beamer, or a Mercedes,
and
or
these threads that are supposed to be bohemian. That is like a $600 outfit that you got from Urban Outfitters because we know how much Urban Outfitters costs or American Apparel.
I think you ever been to Urban Outfitters?
I have once, yeah.
Yeah,
I've been once as well.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, because people kept talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I dig the style. I go through,
Yeah, you know,
pull
it's
out
cute.
a shirt, $80. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the Ed store. Y'all have fun.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm like, oh, that's a nice headscarf. That is a $30 headscarf for less than a foot of fabric. We're gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, we're straight, dog. Not me. Oh my god. Okay, that makes a lot of sense though. All right, so even with all that being said, you enjoying the time out there?
Oh, absolutely. Because for me, growing up in a small city, like I've always been astounded at, you know, the metropolitan feeling. Like there's something very alluring about big cities to me. So, you know, after post-grad, when I went to Austin, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm waiting and I'm bussing tables and I'm doing these bar gigs on the side, but I'm in a big city and they got skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And, you know, it makes me think of that montage in all those movies where, you know, the girl's in the city for the first time and she's looking up at the skyscrapers and some kind of golden oldie soundtrack is playing in the background.
Yeah, that disillusion of being from that small town where you think that just because you physically are in the city, you made it, but in reality,
it's like, no, I'm hustling to just get by.
You could have stayed in that small city, and again, I'm not encouraging you stay in the city you grew up in.
Yeah,
go out and learn you some stuff, but you know, even San Marcos, you could do one of those jobs and be straight.
Oh, absolutely. Like literally, my brother was like, you know, we had a bit of a discussion. He's like, why don't you have a house? I'm like, you do realize that a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home on East Austin is like $500,000?
Jesus Christ, is it really?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just, I don't understand. Like where I'm from, that's an estate sitting on acres, and you probably got
what do you think you get out?
A rhino and a horse and a flamethrower. I could not, but people do it. People will get these homes and renovate them, and they will be 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, quarter acre, maybe an eighth of an acre yard.
1,200 square feet.
Yeah, and it's like 300,000 plus. I couldn't fathom that.
That blows my mind, dude.
Like, and that's another reason why I think people are being called to, you know, the extremities. Of the radius of Austin, because you know even in Buda and Kyle, like that 300K will stretch, boo.
Yeah.
That'll get you some land.
You get a solid half acre, a 2-story.
Yeah, that'll get you 4 bedrooms.
Yeah,
that'll get you
4 2.5.
Yeah, like come on now. It's silly to me, but I think people do it as a flex. I really do.
Sure.
I think people do it to keep up with the Joneses. That's the new zeitgeist. That's the culture. It's like and for my culture, if you are a gay man in Austin, you want to flex to be like, oh, I'm living on the east side, or I'm living in that high rise. I'm like, you are living in that apartment and you are paying $2,000 a month. That's a mortgage.
That's a stiff mortgage.
That is a mortgage, dear.
Yeah.
Like y'all look crazy to me, but that's no shade to any of my friends. I'm just saying.
I mean, shout out to them because same thing. Like
they have the money to do it.
They have the money to do it. That's what they wanted to do, and whether or not it's for positive or negative gain, they're doing it.
All I'm saying is you're not gonna catch me spending $2,000 a month for a bedroom.
Nah, cuz.
That's just not it.
Not me.
That's just not it.
This is 1,200 square feet.
Yeah.
So this place I'm in right now, I think it's 1,250 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. I'm paying with electricity and all those other side bills, $925.
See, and it's so funny because I'm still part of like the San Marcos like rooms for rent and all that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, my 1 bedroom,
Bro.
11,000 square foot for $6 a month.
Dude, I know,
Like,
man. Those ones keep
I'm
coming
like,
up.
Wow, the dream.
Or do you think about how cheap our place was back in Post
What's
Oaks?
like what, $400?
Bro, it was $350. A room.
I could not. That is
$350 for
insane.
4. So
We had a townhome.
we had a townhome, 2-story, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, with a patio, dining room, / like that's a big dining room, bro.
Yeah.
The living room for all in all $1,200, split between 4 people.
That might not even get you a studio in downtown Austin. In fact, it won't get you a
Bro,
studio.
that's getting you a bed next to another homie with a bed.
That's getting you a broom closet.
Right.
That is. That's getting you a broom closet.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So,
That's-
my
okay.
10-year vision is, once I finish out my certification for my career, to buy some land. Buy
I
some
feel
land
you.
in the Kyle Butte area or something
you.
and invest and build. I'd rather build a 3K home, a 300,000K home, as opposed to get one that someone's lived in on East Austin.
sure.
Like, this is crazy to me.
I mean, you do get that historical feeling,
And that's
like,
very true.
That's true. And as someone that's lived in a bunch of houses, those old houses feel a little bit better.
Okay, that's fair.
Like
They're settled.
They're settled. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I hate my kitchen that I got here, but because it's mad small, and this apartment is straight up from the 80s. Like,
All right.
just it is what it is. But like it feels better, and like the place at Post Oak feels better than like when I would go into what was
Like those Copper Beach.
Aspen Heights,
Yeah.
all those joints where they were like built within the last, when we were there, like 5 years.
And they were built so rapid and then it's
So
like
quick.
They had all of these issues. With
Dude,
like
bro, the
plumbing
one
and-
up the block from the music building,
Yeah.
that took 3 years for them to get somebody to buy out because the original people blew through it.
I remember that.
Yeah, dude, the framing was fine, I think, if I remember correctly, but the flooring, they like cut corners on like crazy.
And it was built on a hill.
And it was built on a hill.
Oh no.
A very steep hill. So
A steep hill. And like our boy
Spencer?
Yeah, bro. The people that owned it, they were like, "Oh no, we're gonna get it fixed. So here's the deal. You can't move in, if I remember correctly. You can either A, take a check for X amount of dollars and go find your own living, or B, we'll put you up at this hotel."
And there was that complex, and it was the one Joseph stayed in as well. There was another one that they were contracted to finish it, and they didn't finish it and meet the deadline. So it was 2 complexes in town.
That's
And
right.
like you
Oh,
said-
it was the one over by Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, wild.
Yep.
Yeah, see that, and that's just not something that I want to.
That's fair.
I want to deal with. Like,
Yeah.
I like living in my place.
Yeah.
And you gonna tell me like I moved out a month early because I remember their lease was super quick, because that was a big draw. It was like you can move in July, and the people are like, bet, like,
Yeah.
all right, and
And
then
they're
they
like, oh, by the
sign
way,
all those papers. JK,
You don't have a roof.
you have no roof. You've got a wall and maybe a sink.
Yeah. Maybe. If you're lucky.
Maybe, yeah.
No, thank you.
And then that place just went out of business, and then that place was vacant for a while. Yeah, but anyways. So I feel you though. I definitely want to build my own house. But talking about, I don't even want to say gentrification, but that line, that space, I'll say that space between, because the space between San Antonio and Seguin is no more. Like that's that's straight through.
Yeah, you might as well just consider Seguin like a suburb of San Antonio.
It's a suburb of San Antonio.
Yeah, like a suburb.
But then what's getting thin is the line between Seguin and New Braunfels.
That.
And then New Braunfels and San Marcos.
Yeah.
And then you know what I'm saying? Like we're getting real close to where it's like you're in San Antonio. There's some places, Austin.
Yeah,
You know
pretty
what
much.
I'm
It's
saying?
going to be a like, the next metropolitan hub.
Yeah.
I don't know where I read, but it's looking like the next big cities, like the next 10 big cities, there's going to be a large chunk of them are going to be in Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, Houston,
Yeah.
Dallas, really
Yeah.
banging.
And then Austin is just not stopping anytime soon.
Nah. Well, so kind of looping back around, I want to ask you about, because back in the day we were both music majors.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively, I think when I first met you, you were a vocal /
I think vocal performance, and then I transitioned into the musical theater program.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, so I mean, that's what I knew you as. I knew you as this performer,
Yeah.
killer vocalist. And then I thought you were gonna move to Austin so that way you can like get on that game.
Yeah.
And then I come to find out that you joined over on the opposite side, and now you're in the tech game.
Yeah.
What was that decision? How did we get there?
Well, it kind of, to echo previous, sentiments and statements, it's one of those things where to be an artist and make it, you have to be in a city where art thrives.
That's fair.
Art is very monetized in Austin. Like the allure to me about living in Austin was it's quote unquote the live music capital of the world.
Yeah.
What they don't tell you, it's the live music festival capital of the world. You have South
That's
by,
true.
and you have
That's
ACL,
true.
and you have
That's true.
all of these things that are monetized for big names to come in, that it's really hard for local artists to really make it.
That's fair.
Maybe like a Blues in the Green here or there, but it's very much like it's corporate.
I didn't think about that.
It's extremely, extremely corporate. So I was like, I'm going to come to Austin. I'm going to start a band. I'm going to do all this. And then I find myself hustling between two restaurants just to make ends meet. And then I can't make art because it's so expensive to live here.
And you're just busy and tired.
Yeah, and you don't really have an outlet because, once again, all of the art outlets are either politicized or they're monetized.
Yeah.
So,
really hard to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, you have to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah.
So for me, the shift, was COVID-19.
Fair enough.
As as much of the world is dealing with. In fact, all the world is dealing with. I was at my restaurant job, and we turned on the news because we knew that a mandate was going to be issued at some point or another.
Yeah,
where we would
it was
have
coming.
where we'd have to shut down. And I did not. I worked. I'm not gonna name where I worked. I don't want anyone to get in trouble.
Fair enough.
But it was more of the fine dining. We didn't do to go. We didn't do takeout. So when the bomb dropped, that it was like your establishment can stay open if you do to go, and we're all servers and sommeliers and bartenders. It's like, well, we're without jobs now.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, as soon as that happened, I didn't hesitate, and I had it all set up already. I went straight to unemployment. I got it in before the millions and millions and millions of people did it.
Smart.
So I got in. But I had to think. I'm like, okay, you are pursuing musical theater. What are you going to do, when Broadway has its inevitable shutdown?
Which is coming.
It's already happening.
Happening.
Broadway is closed until 2021. There are lots of small theater companies that aren't going to make it.
I don't mean to cut you off on
No, you're
that,
fine.
but I was looking at a breakdown of like, because again, like I'm as an artist, I'm aware of the system that we live in, but just like when you type it all out like together, and you just look at it, it's like Cirque du Soleil, Broadway, cruise ships, local gigs, all done.
Yeah, and they're going to be done for a while, unfortunately. Yeah. And, my heart goes out to our dear friends that are on Broadway and that are gigging and cruising, and because it's going to be rough. But right before that happened, I went to a unified audition.
Okay.
So there were a few smaller theater companies there. I got a few callbacks, and I'm actually in a musical right now. I'll touch on that later. And we're doing Zoom musical rehearsals, which is something really interesting. We're gonna touch on that in a bit.
Okay.
But Color Arc, whom is the company that is producing this work, the creative director and the producer is a lawyer.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
So I got to thinking, and I'm like, as an artist, you wear many hats. Why can't one of the hats you wear be white collar success? You know, I grew up working class. I've lived my entire life working class. I was gonna pursue Broadway to have consistency, which is funny, and you know, and money, and get out of my situation.
Yeah.
But I had to have a talk to myself. I'm like, do you really want to live in a 300 square foot bedroom in Washington Heights in between gigs? Do you really want to be a bartender or server until you get the next gig? So I started looking and thinking, I'm like, okay, what can I do where I can still thrive as an artist and pay my bills and have some cushion? So I talked to a lot of my friends, I'm like, what do y'all do? Work from home, what's it like? And they're like, oh, I'm a programmer, I'm a coder, I'm a web developer, which really all is under the umbrella of full stack web development.
Yeah.
Tech is an industry that's really booming in Austin. You will not be without a job. You can work remotely. So I signed up to do a coding boot camp trial. It was like, oh, learn how to build a website in 2 hours. It was a train wreck. I pressed the wrong key and ended up logging out of the Zoom meeting for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dog,
so I'm just trying to
hello
world with
I'm
code.
not even going to make fun of you
And
because I would 100% done the same thing.
I was like, okay, I got to do this. And I pressed one button and said, doo-doo-doo. Shut everything down. So I was like, oh. But fortunately, you know, the guy that runs the Coding Academy got back to me. He's like, you saw what happened. Would you like to do a one-on-one? And I can kind of talk you through this. And it was really reassuring.
Dope.
And yeah, I was
for
like,
him.
you know, I really enjoyed this. But I had to do my research. I looked for, you know, what's the median income for someone that works in web development in Austin. And I saw the median income. And I'm like, okay.
She thick.
Yeah, we're going for it. So I'm in that program till February. I'm in class 2 days a week, but it's a lot of independent study. You have to stay hungry for it because it is a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're doing everything via Zoom. But I really enjoy it. But my thing is like I can have that career and I can still be an artist. And then it can possibly put me in a situation where I can create the work that I want to see.
Yeah. If not even a better artist, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to know how to build things and create, and I'll have the money to put into my own projects and invest in my own well-being and my own success.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I would have pushed myself to do this until I was forced to leave my job.
So you had a legitimate reason.
Yeah, I think I still would have been unhappy and stressed, serving tables.
Yeah. That's, you know, man, that makes a lot of sense. And now that you're talking it out, it kind of bothers me that it's so normalized, the level of hustle as an artist.
Oh, it's awful. It's absolutely
Which,
awful.
don't get me wrong, I'm never gonna, let me preface this statement with, I am 100% Mr. Hustle. I've been working effectively since I was like 12, had anywhere up to 4 jobs at the same time. Like, your boy works.
Yeah.
I like working. I have not enjoyed this time off where I'm not working.
Isn't it strange?
It's awful. I hate it. But it sucks that you were told, I was told, I'm sure at some point you were told that, like, yeah, you're going to work as a bartender, server, doing this other nonsense job for 8 years while you're gigging 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
Doing these other stuff, and then maybe somebody's gonna notice you and you get picked up for a touring gig, and you
might be an understudy. You're not going to be a headliner anytime soon. Right. That's going to take you 10 to 15 years. But you might be someone's understudy.
And then, you know, you're gonna do that for a couple of years, but you still can't fully devote your life to it because it's in seasons, or they only needed 2 saxophones for this gig and you're the 3rd saxophone.
Yeah.
And so it's like, bro, percussionist, man, like one dude. Lucky if there's 2. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can get behind that a little bit more, where the just general life hustle while you're in college or doing your tech job, not tech as in like technical, but like technical school, your culinary, all those folk.
Your academy, your program.
Yeah. You're doing the bartending, the serving, and all that. Then you get this legit job, and then you can kind of loop back around and do the thing that you actually enjoy.
Well, see, what's really unfortunate is for years, for decades, we have sold this dream to artists of rags to riches.
Yeah.
You have to, work yourself out of squalor, and then you'll become this big name, or you'll be discovered on one of these shows like X Factor or American Idol, which is not always the case, and
Definitely
then you
not the case.
tied in those contractual obligations, and you can't make any art or any music. But the rags to riches is a facade.
It is.
Because the thing is, okay, I might get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. People sell this rags to riches in these industries, and they will not tell you that they had rich parents. They will not tell you that they had the stage mom that had them in the camp, that paid for them to be seen, the momager. They will not tell you that their parents... The momager. They will not tell you that their parents are producers. They will not tell you that they grew up in Beverly Hills. They will not tell you that they are the child of someone who's producing a show on Broadway right now. It's nepotism.
Yeah.
And no one talks about it.
I mean,
I know that might get me in hot water, but...
And that's not to say that there aren't those handful of kids that come from our backgrounds where they legit just hustled, and they got there. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Proud of them. But I think you're right. A vast majority of those cats aren't.
Like, it's expensive to go fly out and be seen. Like, even in undergrad, I only did 2 auditions. And, between gas, staying in the hotel for 3 or 4 days because we got all the callbacks, food, gas back down, it was like $600 for a single audition.
Yeah.
And there
I
are
believe
kids
that. Absolutely.
nationwide that are doing 5 to 10 auditions at a time per season. Their parents are just dumping out thousands of dollars for them to get a maybe, for them to get a I'll call you, for them to get a thank you next.
Yeah. Which is super dope.
Yeah, which is one.
I wish everybody had that opportunity.
And that's the thing. I'm not knocking that. If you have that background, be thankful, because that's wonderful that you have a family that can support your dream emotionally and financially. But that's just not the reality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, I think about Leah Michelle, who's in hot water right now for some nonsense she said. But it's like, she was that girl that was like at the camps and at, the young artist programs and now she's on Glee. I'm like, but yeah, someone had to invest in your future. It's really hard when you have to foot the bill for your own dreams. And it's going to take you a little longer, unfortunately.
Bars, bro.
Yeah. It's really tough. Like, who picks up the tab for your dreams? So that's been something that I had to mull over in my mind, which is why I made up the decision to go tech.
Makes sense, man. I can get behind it. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a tough realization, though, man.
Yeah,
it's a tough realization.
It's not fun. Like,
but
it hurts.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing in our world, bro. Of drum corps, which, I mean, there's a lot of conversation about that. As whether or not it's actually gonna ever come back. Like, it's a reality that's in question. But what you went to a Phantom, BK.
Yeah, I went to about 4 camps, and they were all about $800.
Yeah.
To go to audition.
To go to an audition.
Who has that?
Like,
so
one of the camps they didn't even take. I went to audition for drum major. They didn't even take anyone.
Yeah.
At that camp. Like,
And you still have to pay that fee.
Still have to pay that fee. And that's why there is. It's not innately. Gets into systemic racism and all that, but I didn't have the opportunity to go audition at those top level drum corps because I couldn't afford that $800 bill.
Yeah,
I can go to the local circuit.
Yeah,
which is dope.
That's rent money. Like, come on now.
But yeah, $800 that's rent. But I can shell out the $150, $200 to go.
Yeah, I can do that.
Audition for Crossman in San Antonio, Genesis in Austin. But then the problem with that is then it's all this local talent of kids that are talented enough to go to those other places, play with those other groups, but they ain't got the money for it. So they're going to stay local. And then, they're going to get the spot, rightfully so. I'm not taking anything away from them, but like it gets into this weird cycle where the best groups aren't necessarily getting the best people. They're just getting the best people that could afford to be there.
That happens.
And
Yeah.
I don't know where to stand with that, or how to go off of that. But it's tough, man.
Because once again, rags to riches is just not a reality for the arts. It's really not.